How's it going, guys? I'm your host Caravan Gaming. Welcome back to another very special Adventure Quest video, and for today's video we are going to be going through the guesses tier list. Okay, so before we start the video, a few things I'd like to add on. First of all, this tier list is 100% opinionated and these are my opinions. Feel free to agree or disagree with me. Let me know down in the comments section below what do you think of my opinions for the tier list. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? And of course, you can feel free to discuss with me as well in my Discord server. The link is on the right hand side of the screen. You can also find the link to my Discord server down in the description below. And last but not least, this tier list is updated as of the time of this video, which is 23rd of November 2022. So if you're seeing this in the future, then of course there might be certain changes to the tier list because we do get weekly updates for the game, we do get new stuff, and of course the meta does shift. So if you're watching this in the future, it may or may not have changed, but I will try and do updated tier lists every year. On top of that, I will also try to update the pinned comment if there are any changes to the tier list. Alright, so without further ado, let us get started because we have lots to cover. First off, we have the booster pets. Okay, the guesses, sorry. Okay, these are guesses. Okay, so the booster guesses, without a doubt, they are S tier. Now, for my pets tier list, I mentioned that Thernda was only A and was not in the same tier as these two, because fully offensive rangers aren't really a thing. But what I failed to remember is that Ranger Pyres are actually a thing. So I do believe that they are S tier if you're a Ranger Pyre. And that is also a short hint on the build that I am thinking of doing next, which is a Ranger Pyre. So your Thernda, if you're playing a Ranger or a Ranger Pyre, is actually considered S tier. And Ranger Pyres are fully offensive. So yes, Thernda does deserve a spot right up beside Poelala and Dunamis. And then we have your Elemental Boosters. They are obviously S tier because they are the best in stock for boosting the specific damage type. That being said, you really have to be a mega whale to be getting all of the elements, simply because it is not cheap. And on top of that, I would recommend the general boosters over the specific element boosters, because otherwise if you want to, you know, boost your attacks, unless you're just using that specific element alone for that battle, you almost always want to be carrying the general boosters instead. Alright, now that the boosters are out of the way, we have the Shogun and Anatsu contract. So this one is a fire and wind compression gas. Okay, there's a fire skill, there's a wind skill, and there's a fire plus wind skill. You have to pay gold, but at the same time, when you're paying the gold, you also do increased damage to the gas. So in my opinion, this is definitely an S tier gas as well. One of the earliest Z token packages, and it's still super duper good nowadays. It did get a slight revamp recently, but I think the revamp didn't really change much. So all in all, still a fantastic gas if you want to get a fire or wind gas. Okay, next up we have the Pyre contract. So these come in fire, earth, and water variants. I'm too lazy to cover all three of them, so I am only going to have one picture as the placeholder here. So if you don't have Shogun and Anatsu, you don't want the compression, then the best damage will come from the Infernal Pyre for fire. For water, it is the strongest gas out there, so your water is a definite must to pick up if you're a Beastmaster and you're looking to maximize your damage. Earth version, Doomquake Minions are going to be better. I'll cover that later. But Doomquake Minions don't have a SP toggle, which means that unless you're playing a Beast Mage build, you're not going to be able to use Doomquake Minions. So this one, I would say fire and water variants S, earth variants A. Okay, but that is only if you're not playing a Beast Mage build. If you are a Beast Mage, then if you're not a Beast Mage, then this is S tier. If you are a Beast Mage, then this the Earth version of this will be A tier. Okay, Blazing Legion Minion. Okay, you can toggle between two modes. One is extra 5% damage. Second one attempts to inflict a fire burn. Not as strong as the Pyre Red, so I'm going to put it as A tier. It's still a good guess nonetheless, but you know, not the best. Gourdon Ramshead. Okay, I cannot find a picture of this and I was lazy to redo the whole quest. So two modes. One is standard plus 5% damage. Second one is paralyzed. Paralyzed, of course, stun effects not that good nowadays because freedom is a thing. So I'm going to give it B. Grakma. Grakma, okay, has a 33% chance to not attack, but at the same time you deal 1.5 times damage to compensate. So this is a pretty wild guess. On top of that, there's two modes. One is full damage. Second one, reduced damage, but has a chance to inflict 50% damage taken, fire elemental vulnerability for 1 turn, minus 20 save bonus, player charisma overlap versus monsters charisma overlap. Very interesting guess for sure. The fact that it doesn't always attack makes it not that good, but at the same time 50% ally round is very, very strong. Unfortunately, because of the drawbacks, I can only give it B, but this is definitely high B. Might be A, I don't know, but I feel like 33% chance to not attack, I don't really like that, so I'm gonna give it B. Okay, Infernal Skull. Two modes, one is the standard damage mode, second one deals reduced damage, attempts to inflict fear for 1 turn. So unlike most sources of fear which are based off dark resist, this is based off fire resist, but then again, you know, freedom is a thing, so B tier. Next up, okay, same. This one has fire and water variant, so both of these are going to be B tier. Rhubzard. Rhubzard 1 is a damage mode, second one is status mode, deals reduced damage, attempts to inflict minus 100 luck unlucky effect for 1 turn. Okay, so this one I don't really, and you gain the 100 luck as well. So this one I don't know. Luck, honestly, it is not that great in my opinion, but some people really like it, and of course with the new haunted pack leg pad, you can do some pretty crazy stuff with it, like 200 300 luck or something like that. But even then, I think the effect still isn't that great, because you know what use is like a temporary luck boost or temporary luck reduction. I don't really see it being super useful, so I'm going to give it B tier. FruitcakeZard, standard damage mode and paralyzed mode. Okay, same thing, freedom is a thing, so B tier. Abyssal Undead Hydra, there is the water version as well as the darkness version, so both will be the same ranking. Okay, 2 modes, damage mode and second mode, reduce damage to inflict daze. So another stun pet, so stun gas, what do I keep saying pets? Okay, so B tier. Wind, Ancestral Wraith. Okay, this is a compression gas inside of the Necromancer armor, and it has 2 modes. One is your standard, one is a damage mode that deals extra 50% damage. This is quite crazy, but at the same time it has 50% increase upkeep cost in SP or MP, okay? And for the second mode is a status mode, deals reduced damage, attempts to inflict paralyze for 1 turn. So the fact that this is compressed into an armor, and the fact that it's also the strongest damaging wind gas, I will have to give this an A, but I wouldn't say it's S tier, okay? So just A tier, because the second effect, paralyze stun effect, is not super good, okay? And then we have Bun-Banneret. Another quite interesting wind gas here, okay? So one is a standard damage mode, second mode, it does not attack, applies a plus 22.95 MRM defense boost for 1 turn, scales with charisma. Without charisma, the defense boost values is 11.475. And the set scaling can overcap the boost values to a max of 1.1 times boost value. So also receive a 1.029 times bonus from the out-leveling formula at level 150. So this is good for dodge lashes. The defense boost, even without charisma, I still say it's very good. If you're going for like short term, then defense boosting, I think this is the best one out there. So this one, is it worth an S tier? Yeah, I mean, it's best for dodge lashing, so I guess I have to give it an S. Okay, next up, we have the Ice. Okay, Legion Cryo Cannoneer. Okay, standard damage mode. Second mode, no, flavor effect, deals extra 50% damage, causes 105 HP at level 150. So this is actually pretty good, and it's the strongest damaging option for Ice, but apart from being the strongest damaging option, it doesn't really offer much else. So I'm only going to give it A tier over here. Next up, we have King Linus. Okay, King Linus, standard damage mode, and the other status mode, deals reduced damage, attempts to inflict choke. Okay, the choke is actually not bad, and it rolls using your charisma over luck versus the monster's intellect over luck. So the choke effect, I think, is pretty good nowadays, so I'm going to give it an A tier. Nezujimbo Contract used to be the best ice gas in the game before all of these golden gift box shenanigans came about. So yeah, Nezujimbo, very and it's still the best free to play ice gas right now, I believe. Yeah, it's the best free to play ice gas right now. Okay, normal attack deals extra 10% damage. Okay, it does cost gold, but that's also why it's strong. The gold amount is insignificant at level 150, by the way. And the second mode is a freeze attack, so 2 hits and has a chance to freeze the foe. Okay, plus 0 save bonus, player charisma over luck versus monsters endurance over luck. Well, freedom is a thing, but freeze is better than the other stun effects, because freeze also increases the monster's fire resist. So plus this can deal extra increased damage because it does cost gold to upkeep. I am going to give it A, but this is like low A tier. Okay, low A tier. Undead Beast, another gas compressed inside of the Necromancer armor. Okay, two modes. One is standard damage. Second one deals reduced damage, has 50% increased upkeep cost. Attempts to inflict bleed. Okay, the bleed is decent, and bleed, all sources of bleed deals harm damage. Good for bleed stacking, but apart from that, I don't really see it being super useful. I'm gonna give it B for this one. Next up, we have Ghost Ally. Okay, ice and energy gas, so you can seek between ice and energy compression, so that already makes it pretty decent. And you can toggle between the standard damage mode as well as an auto hit mode. Auto hit mode deals extra 50% damage, but also has extra 50% increase upkeep cost. Okay, because it's auto hit, it suffers from 0.65 times damage penalty. But auto hit is very useful nowadays for pets and guesses because of the charisma changes. Because pet BTH is still tied to dexterity, unless you're running a beast ranger build, chances are you're going to be missing a lot of your pets and your guesses, and I think the auto hit is actually very useful. So for this one, I am actually gonna give it high A or S tier. I think I will give it super high A, but I don't think it's quite an S tier yet. Yeah, it does hit with 2 elements and it has an auto hit, but I don't think it's quite an S yet. Okay, A plus for me. Next up, we have the Hedgehog. Okay, Hedgehog, this one, you pay extra, you pay some gold and it will do increased damage. Best option for energy, I think. But apart from that, nothing really much to shout about. I'm gonna give it A because it's top tier option for energy, but other than that, there really isn't much to talk about it. Okay, Doomquake Minions, this is the best Earth gas and probably the best damage gas in the entire game. Unfortunately, there's only the MP upkeep variant, so there isn't an SP version of this, but because it's the strongest damaging gas, I have to give it an S tier. There are also different modes, so you can inflict earth poison, you can inflict bleed as well, so you're very versatile and very strong gas. Definitely S tier. Next up, Sugar Gobbler, only SP version available for this one. Okay, you can feed it 200 Moglicorn candy to provide bonuses to gas attacks. Okay, it will deal extra 105% damage if you feed it 200 candy. That is crazy. And then for the status mode, okay, it deals reduced damage and its chance to inflict petrify for 1 turn. Okay, if you feed it candy, you will increase the petrify chance, I think. Yeah, you increase the petrify chance. So it's very situational because if you don't feed it candy, it's kind of mediocre, but when you feed it candy, it's really very good. That being said, to be able to use this effectively throughout the year, you not only need to have a Moglicorn painting, which costs tokens, but you also need to farm the freaking candy every time you log in, and that I don't like very much, but because it's still decently good, I will have to say, oh my god. Am I gonna give it A? I think it's B, very high B, like B+++, maybe even A-, but there's just so many things you need to make this like worthwhile. You need the Moglicorn painting, you need to farm every time, so yeah, I'm gonna give it B only, sorry. Nightbane, okay, SP and upkeep, MP upkeep variants, okay. This is compressed inside of a weapon. In fact, we don't really see this gas much, so, but I'm gonna put this here. It has a standard damage mode as well as a healing mode. Okay, heals HP, that's basically it. Not, honestly, healing is divided by the monster's earth resistance. This is very bad because it's also based off the monster's earth resist, so I'm going to put it as C. Honestly, I don't even know why I included this. Probably shouldn't even put this inside the list if I'm being honest. Twilly, okay, Twilly, damage mode and healing mode. This one not based on monster's earth resist, so B tier, slightly more useful, I would say. Energy, okay, prototype hunter drone, and I actually didn't take notice of this gas up until I was doing this list, but this is actually a very good gas. It has both SP and MP upkeep variants, and it has a energy mode as well as a harm mode. So in harm mode, it deals minus 10% damage, but still a harm gas, guys. That's not very common. On top of that, it deals extra 50% damage, but it has 50% increased upkeep cost. So this is actually the best damage option for energy, if I being honest. Oh, and it is free. Wow, and Hedgehog isn't free. Okay, you know what? I changed my mind. Hedgehog is actually B tier. Sorry guys, Hedgehog is going to be B tier. Yup, why do people even get Hedgehog anyways? Yeah, prototype hunter drone is strictly better. Hedgehog is Yeah, I'm gonna have to go shout this out on my Discord for the peeps who actually bought the Hedge Mod gas. Oh my god. Okay, next up, Mogdin. Mogdin, standard damage mode and second mode deals no damage but attempts to inflict paralyze. This is probably the strongest form of gas paralyze inside of the entire game, and it can last multiple rounds, and it can also potentially stun lock monsters. So even with freedom, this is a very powerful effect. Am I going to give it A? No, because freedom is very prevalent, but I'm going to give it B. Very high B for this one. Okay, next, Blood Ruby Rose. Okay, this was a very old token package. I don't think it's available anymore. Damage, standard damage mode, and then the second mode has a chance to inflict Rubify, okay, which is basically sort of petrify, okay, energy sort of petrify, I think, if I'm not wrong. So this one, B tier. Alright, next up, let me see, what else do we have? Like Manifestation. Okay, Manifestation damage mode deals extra 100% damage, has 100% increased upkeep cost. This one comes in both SP and MP variants and is compressed inside the Paladin armor. Very, very good for damage mode. I think it's the top damage option for light, if I'm not mistaken. And booster mode, instead of dealing damage, it boosts light element attacks and spells. Similar to your light booster pet from the Z token package, the Moglinus Decimus here. But this manifestation actually scales exclusively with Charisma. It boosts melee and ranged weapon based attacks by 60%. Magic weapon based attacks and spells or spell type skills receives 1/4 and half of the boost respectively. Scales with Charisma. Without Charisma, the boost value is 30%, which is still very good. Okay. Stat scaling can overcap. Boost is also modified based on monster type. Okay, boost is multiplied by 1.1 times versus undead, 16/15 versus demons, and 0.95 times versus anything else. So I think this is definitely S tier, super duper good gas. Okay, next up we have Sharab. Sharab, compressed light gas, deals extra 100% damage, but it has a 42.86% chance to give the monster celerity for one turn. 42%, super high, and honestly I'd rather pay for the upkeep on Manifestation. So Sharab, I am gonna give it C tier because Manifestation exists. Yeah, the chance of giving the monster celerity is just way too high for this to be useful. And oh, I actually forgot to put this in, but Moxterial is another light gas. Yeah, Moxterial also deals a lot of damage, but you pay quite a hefty SP. You pay quite a hefty HP cost for that. So Moxterial is probably going into the B tier. Yeah, low B tier, because Manifestation is just might not be better, but the HP cost isn't that steep. Yeah, Moxterial, there's a high chance you can kill yourself with Moxterial. So I'm going to give Moxterial a B tier. So sorry I don't have the image for that. I forgot to add that in. Okay, next up, Darkness. Okay, we have the Grimlord of Nulgath. Flavor effect deals extra 100% damage, but it causes 95 HP per turn. Not super high in my opinion, so definitely worth the damage boost. And Mastercraft effect has a 9.9% chance to attempt to inflict paralyze for one turn. Not super good. Okay, chance is low and paralyze is not that great, but it's the strongest damaging darkness gas inside of the game. And the paralyze I sort of see as like a bonus more than anything else, so I think I will give it A. I won't give it S, but I think I'll give it A. Creature 72. Okay, so this one has two different modes as well as a standard damage mode. Okay, so one is fear mode and second one is panic mode. Panic mode very good when combined with the Fey Wanderer pet, but I think that is probably like the only case whereby this gas is actually useful. So it's very situational. You need to have Fey Wanderer. That being said, Fey Wanderer is seasonal. It's not perma rare, so you can still find good use for it. Because you actually need Fey Wanderer to make this like super worth using, I am going to give it high B. Very, very high B. Okay. Yeah, fear, you know, it's a stun effect, so it's not that good. Panic, it's okay on its own, but it's not like the best. So I'll give it high B tier. Yeah, if you combine it with Fey Wanderer, it's probably A tier, but on its own, it's like a B tier. Next up, Ninja Lawyer Assassin Contract. Best free to play Darkness Gas, if I'm not wrong. Is it? Yeah, best free to play Darkness Gas. Okay, so it's a contract gas, which means you have to pay gold. Okay, the first attack deals reduced damage, attempts to inflict Entangle on the monster. Entangle basically reduce the monster's dexterity. So it's actually pretty high, and I think that's pretty decent. Second attack is a attack that can inflict bleed on the monster. Not a super strong bleed, but a good effect nonetheless. And the last one, it just deals extra 40% damage. So this is the best free-to-play Darkness Gas, and for what it does, I think it's very worth it. So I'm going to give it an A tier over here. Alright, and then next up we have your healing. Okay, this is Gourdon. Okay, Gourdon, healing mode and damage mode. Yeah, nothing too special for this. Same as Twilly basically, so I'm going to give it B tier. And then we have your Moglicorn Twilly Gases, also B tier. All the Twilly pets are like B tier to me. You can switch between switch to HP healing and damage mode, but that's basically it. Mana Spirit. Okay, this one. Standard neutral gas, 1 BR lean, does random element damage among the 8 standard elements, so no harm, no void. Okay, it deals extra damage to compensate, and on top of that, it only attacks 50% of the time, but it deals ×2 damage to compensate. This one, yeah, just garbage. I don't really think you want to use this, even against stuff like Void Dragons. I don't think it will be that useful, because half the time, you're not going to be attacking with this pet, and honestly, what is the point of that, right? So yeah, C tier for me. Okay, let's see. Lepre-Chan. Lepre-Chan is your free-to-play light booster pet. Okay, so if you are unable to get Moglinus Decimus, you can use Lepre-Chan, but of course Manifestation also exists. Mastercraft boost increased by 5%. This one scales exclusively Charisma. Boosts melee and ranged weapon-based attacks by 63%. Blah blah blah. Skills with Charisma. Without Charisma, boost value is 31.5%. It is slightly better. The boost is just very slightly better than Manifestation, but I think Manifestation is better because you also have a damage mode inside of it. Nonetheless, I still think it is pretty decent, so I'm going to give it A tier. You know what? Maybe B. Yeah, I'm going to give it B solely because you can just use Manifestation, and Manifestation is compressed in an armor slot, so yeah, it's just strictly better. Yeah, you don't really want to use this if you're using the Paladin armor. Essence of Carnage. Okay, there's a MP Defiant mode and an SP Rampant mode. So first one, Defiant mode. Instead of dealing damage, you cause player weapon attacks to heal MP based on damage dealt, and booster spell damage based on previous attacks. So this one is very useful for if you want to do like nuking or something, and I don't think there's a cap for how high you can go. I'm not sure if they changed it. They changed this guess like a gazillion times, so I don't even know where is the most updated info subs right now. Okay, second mode, instead of dealing damage, it boosts your melee range attacks and spells and provides a backlash effect. So this is a good free-to-play backlash guess, but if you just want it to boost your damage, you can also use this. So in my opinion, I think this is definitely an S tier, very versatile guess for sure, and super strong with all of the crazy boosting. Okay, so yeah, S tier for me. Next up, we have the Paladin Apprentice. Works basically like Bun-Banneret, but also has a standard damage mode. The buff is not as strong as Bun-Banneret in my opinion, but it is compressed inside of the Paladin armor. So because of that, I think I am going to give it an A tier. Yup. And then we have Deathless Knight. This one is compressed inside of the Necromancer armor. Okay, it follows your element, your weapon element, okay, for its element. So you can basically have it deal any element you want depending on the weapon that you have equipped, and I think that's very useful and versatile. But you deal 0.6 times damage to compensate for element seeking. It comes with a toggle. The toggle attack has minus 15 BTH lean, but you deal extra 50% damage and has 105% increased upkeep cost. I think, honestly, I'm going to give it a C tier for this, even though it's very versatile with the different elements that you can use with it, but minus 15 BTH lean nowadays, it is huge, and chances are you're probably never going to hit with it if you don't have Charisma and if you don't have Dexterity train. So yeah, I'm only going to give it C. It doesn't matter how much increased damage you have, you have increased upkeep cost and you have a reduced BTH, yeah, it's probably going to waste, so C tier. Next up, what else do we have here? This is Deathless Dracolich. Okay, so elements seek between fire and dark, and on top of that can inflict burn, compressed in the Necromancer armor. Not bad. I will give it B tier. Ancestral Wraith. This one deals fire or harm damage and will increase damage based off how many status effects you have. I am going to give this A tier. Synchronizes very well with the Necromancer armor definitely, and you know, harm toggle, so harm being always useful, that's very good. Daimyo, this is compressed inside of the Paladin armor. I think this does boosted damage against Undead and Demons. I can't really remember, but I don't think this is such a good guess overall. So I'm only going to give it C tier. Void Awakening, guess this one. You can give you a Chi Shield or Mana Shield depending on whether you are using the Core or Summon variant. And on top of that, it also has a heal, MP or SP heal mode depending on the variant as well. When coupled with the armor, you can get it to be pretty strong. On its own, it is okay without any boosters, but it is not the best. I don't know. Am I gonna give this A tier? It's a unique effect, no doubt, and if you combine it with other stuff, you can really get some insane results. I'm going to give it A, but I think only low A. Yeah, this is probably like A minus, very, very low A. Giant Horror, guess this one can inflict darkness elemental vulnerability on your foe. Elemental vulnerability, honestly, not bad. Okay, so I'm going to give it an A. And then we have Decanor. Decanor, you have SP and MP variants, 6 between wind and darkness. Oh, you can toggle between wind and darkness damage, and it deals extra 50% damage, but of course you have 50% increased upkeep cost. That being said, this is a token guess, so you can't get it for free. It is very good though, so let me think. There's lots of good darkness guesses, that's the problem. Wind guess, you also have wind. Do you really have anything good for wind? Bun-Banneret, but yeah, you probably can use this as a good win guess, but darkness, you just have better options. Nonetheless, I think this deserves an A spot, okay, yeah. But low A only, A minus, okay. We have your Fiend of Nulgath, Cositus Fiend or Dread Fiend of Nulgath, whichever the case. This one boosts your backlash damage. Very situational, but best in slot if you're backlashing. It only backlashes for ice damage, so against monsters that have ice resistance, this may not be that good, but it is also the strongest backlash boosting pet, so this one, even if you're not playing a backlash build, the bonus damage can be nice, so it's not like you have to exclusively play a backlash build to get this to be useful. I'm gonna give it A. Yeah, A. I don't think I'll give it an S, but A for sure. Mystic Iron Golem, so this is quite new, okay, from the new revamped Junior Squires of Order quest. Okay, this one has a chance to inflict Mind Lock on your opponent, which stops them from using their MP bar. Not many monsters use MP bar nowadays, but Mind Lock is a very, very rare effect, and against monsters that do, this can be very useful. The infliction rate, I don't really think it's super high, but I don't know, very situational, so I'm going to give it B. The amount of monsters that use MP in the game are too little to give it to justify this being at a higher position. If more monsters use MP rather than SP, then this will probably be A, but right now I think it's a B. Legion Fenrir, honestly I can't really remember what it does. Let me just pause the video for a while and check. Okay, so Legion Fenrir has a standard damage mode as well as a mode that allows the player to gain Berserk, so minus 15 BDH, but your damage is multiplied by 1.214. With no save, attack is 2 melee hits, minus 15 BTH. Regardless of whether any of the hits connect, the monster also gains Berserk. So it can resist with a 0 save bonus. This can be useful for if you're running a dodge slash build, you can make the monster go Berserk. On your own, the Berserk effect is, I don't know if you really want to maximize your damage, but that being said though, you have your booster guesses and they also don't reduce your BTH. So very situational guess. I am gonna give it just a B tier. Yeah, one guess that I forgot to add, another guess that I forgot to add in here, which I just noticed, is Summon Queen Ajaya. Okay, this one I think Brady Simmons went through it on his channel. Okay, toggle between two modes. One is the Elemental Vulnerability mode. Okay, attempts to inflict light elemental vulnerability on the foe. Second mode is a barrier mode, 4 hits. Okay, deals minus 50% damage and applies a barrier worth something melee. So this is actually decent, but it doesn't have synergy or set bonus with anything, unlike the Void Awakening. Guess so for this one, light elemental vulnerability, not bad. I'm gonna give Queen Ajaya an A. So yeah, Queen Ajaya is an A tier. And then Silk Screamer, chance to inflict Entangle, but Ninja Lawyer Assassin contract is better because it does more things. Okay, on its own, I would say Entangle is still okay, I guess. B tier, yeah, but not not as good as Ninja Loyal Assassin. Both are free, so just pick up Ninja Loyal Assassin. And Ninja Loyal Assassin also isn't seasonal, unlike the Silk Screamer. Mana bad, this one can heal your MP, but that's basically it. B tier. Ice Master Yeti, common gift box, normal damage mode as well as chance to stun or daze your foe, I think. So B tier because freedom. Core Bloodhawk P. This was a very old gift box item, and this one, it can store charges, and what it does, you can click on it to toggle its self-destruct mode. Basically, it does a lot of damage, and yeah, it gets, you can't, after you toggle on that mode, you cannot use it again for that particular battle. So very niche guess, in my opinion. The damage is quite spectacular, but because you can't use it anymore and you have to switch to something else, it's pretty much a once per battle use type of guess. It used to be the best in stock for fire damaging guess, if I'm not wrong, but right now I would say, is this C tier? You can use it once per battle for quick nuke. Maybe B, yeah, B, but low B, very low B. And last but not least, we have the Wear Pyre bats. Okay, this one, it's compressed inside your Wear Pyre sub-race armor, so that already makes it worth carrying around. Okay, if you're playing a hybrid build, and on top of that, it can bug out elemental vulnerability effects to basically compress them all into one and makes any elemental vulnerability effect super duper strong. Okay, even if it's not bugged out, the ability to inflict elemental vulnerability is very good, and the fact that this is compressed inside of an armor, I am going to give this S tier. So that is going to be my guess tier list, guys. Let me know what you guys think of the tier list down in the comment section below. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions on it, and if you guys have found this video helpful, then be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to this channel if you guys want to see more of such future content. There's only one other item that I have not made a tier list on yet, and that is for miscellaneous items. So if you guys want to see that, you definitely want to subscribe and turn on your notifications. Alright, till the next time, I'm your host Caravan Gaming. Peace out.